is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinis, to use this as an educational material.
What is global food security? Global food security is influenced by several interconnected factors that ensure all people have access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food. These include food availability, which relies on agricultural productivity, climate conditions, and food supply chains. Access to food, which depends on economic resources and distribution networks. And food utilization, which involves nutrition, food safety, and proper handling. The stability of food system is crucial as crises such as climate change, political instability, or pandemics can disrupt food production and distribution. Sustainable agricultural practices and global trade are also central to maintaining food security, while political stability and good governance ensure that resources are effectively managed. Environmental factors such as climate change and natural disasters increasing affect global food system, influencing crop yields and food prices. Thank you.
How did the COVID-19 pandemic impact food security in the Philippines? So, in the case of the Philippines, food security was severely challenged during the COVID-19 pandemic. Supply chains disruptions caused by lockdowns and mobility restrictions made it difficult for farmers to transport goods to markets, resulting in food shortage and price increases. The pandemic economic impact pushed millions into poverty, reducing people purchasing power and their ability to afford nutritious foods, especially in urban areas where livelihoods were more vulnerable. The country's agricultural sector, already vulnerable to climate change and other stresses, struggled with labor shortages and logistical challenges, leading to decrease in the production of staple crops like rice, vegetables, while the government introduced social protections measures such as cash transfers and food aid. These were not always sufficient or efficiently distributed, leaving many without support. Additionally, disruptions to health and nutrition programs, along with the closure of schools and offered feeding programs, lead to increase of malnutrition.
What long-term challenge does the Philippines face in achieving food security, and how is the government addressing them? Climate-related disasters such as typhoon also exacerbated food insecurity, with events like Typhoon Ruli and Ulysses causing widespread damage to crop and infrastructure. Although the government relaxed food information restriction and supported local production to stabilize supply, the overall response faced challenge, particularly in rural areas with limited infrastructure and internet connectivity. As of 2024, food security remains a major concern in the Philippines, with a high food price, continued climate vulnerability, and lingering nutritional challenge. The government is working to strengthen agriculture reliance through climate-smart farming, improve immigration, and efforts to diversify food production, while addressing long-term issues like poverty and malnutrition. Despite this effort, achieving sustainable food security in the Philippines requires ongoing attention to both immediate needs and long-term solutions, agriculture, governance, and climate adaptation.
Here are the 5 components of food security. First is availability. It's about consistent supply of sufficient food within a region or country. These components depend on food production, storage, processing, and distribution. Availability requires an effective agricultural system and supply chains. From farms to market, it encompasses local production as well as the availability to import food if local resources are insufficient. Factors like weather condition, infrastructures, and trade policies also impact food availability. When there's ample availability, people can expect a stable supply of food year-round. Second is access. Food access means that individuals have the economic and physical resources to acquire sufficient, nutritious food. It goes beyond mere presence of food and requires that people can afford it with adequate income purchasing power. Access also involves physical proximity to food markets or stores, which can be a challenge in remote or impoverished areas. In urban settings, food deserts are without grocery stores or market with fresh foods pose significant barriers. Policies and programs that reduce poverty and increase job opportunities are essential for enhancing food access. Third is utilization. Utilization focuses on the body's ability to make use the nutrients provided by food. It is influenced by factors like food safety, hygiene preparation, and individual health. Proper utilization requires that food is not only nutritionally adequate but also prepared in ways that retains its nutrients. For example, access to clean water and safe cooking facilities is necessary for effective utilization, as is education on dietary practices and nutritional needs. Additionally, individuals' health conditions like digestive health and cultural practices around food preparation and consumption play important roles.
So, in number 4, stability. So, stability means that food availability, access, and utilization remain reliable over time and are not threatened by periodic disruption. This component addresses the vulnerability to sudden shocks such as economic crisis, natural disasters, climate change, or political instability that can impact food security. For example, a drought that destroys crops can destabilize food availability, leading to shortage and higher prices. Strategies like diversified food sources, improved storage, and disaster preparedness plan help create a more resilient food system that can withstand potential risks to food security. And number 5, agency. Agency in a food security refers to individuals and communities' ability to make choices about what they eat and participate in food-related decision making. It emphasizes the importance of control over food system and empowers people to be active in shaping policies, practices, and systems that affect their food security. Agencies includes the right to choose culturally appropriate foods and participate in sustainable food practices. For example, community-led agricultural initiative or local food sovereignty movement give people voice in how their food is produced, processed, and distributed.
Hi, I'm Ken Joshua R. Cornelius, and I'm going to discuss an issue that affects every one of us, the threats of global food security. So, global food security faces mounting challenges that threaten to destabilize food systems worldwide. One of the most pressing threats is climate change, which is altering weather patterns, leading to extreme events like droughts, floods, and hurricanes. These events damage crops and disrupts growing cycles, while rising temperatures can degrade soil health, ultimately reducing agricultural productivity, changing climate changes, and also shift of growing seasons, affecting regions that depend on predictable weather patterns for planting and harvesting. Another critical threat is a water scarcity. Agriculture relies on a large amount of fresh water, but in many regions, overuse and pollution have led to significant water shortage, grounding depletion, especially in severe areas with incentives farming practices, where water is extracted faster than it can be replenished. Pollution from industrial, agricultural, and urban waste further contaminates freshwater sources, limiting the clean water available for crops. Without sustainable water management, food production will struggle to meet a rising demand. Lastly, rapid population growth and urbanization intensify pressure on the food system. As the global population continues to expand, demand for food rises accordingly. However, urbanization reduces arable land as the farmland is converted into cities and infrastructures. This growth challenges supply chains, especially in developing regions where distribution and storage infrastructures are less developed, with more people to be fed and less land available. Achieving food security becomes increasingly difficult. These interconnected challenges makes of global food security a complex issue that requires urgent and coordinated action to safeguard food supplies for future generations. Thank you. Challenges supply chains, especially in developing regions where distribution and storage infrastructures are less developed, with more people to be fed and less land available. Achieving food security becomes increasingly difficult. These interconnected challenges makes of global food security a complex issue that requires urgent and coordinated action to safeguard food supplies for future generations. Thank you.
Is food security possible? Yes, food security is possible, but it requires concerted global efforts and innovative solutions. While challenges like climate change, population growth, and resource constraints pose significant threats, advancement in agriculture, technology, and sustainable practices offer hope. To achieve food security, we need to increase our agricultural productivity, implement sustainable farming practices, invest in agricultural research, and promote the use of advanced technologies, and reduce food loss and waste. It improves storage, transport, and distribution systems to minimize food waste. Promote sustainable consumption patterns, encourage the dietary shifts toward more plant-based diets, and reduce food waste at the consumer level. Address climate change. Mitigate the impacts of climate change on agriculture, such as drought, floods, and extreme weather events. Ensure equitable access to food. Address poverty and inequality to ensure that everyone has access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food.